Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be answering the question, what would my ideal Drag Race Global All-Stars look like? So I had done versions of this same video for US All-Stars, for UK All-Stars, and a Canada All-Stars, and I was trying to think of some fun videos to do, and I was like, why haven't I expanded more on this? Let's do a Global All-Stars, why not? So we're going to be going through and going over this cast I've created for a fictional Global All-Stars season. The restrictions I gave myself in making this cast were I didn't want it to be too many people because like 15 I feel like is a lot. Which is the amount of like franchises I could have done realistically for this. So I was like, let me do 12. And I did not want to choose anybody that has been on an All-Star season before or is currently rumored to be on an All-Star season of Drag Race. So those are really the only like parameters I get myself to work within. So we're going to be going through this cast. I'll be explaining why I chose these people, and we will also be quickly glancing over how I would format this season, what I would keep the same, what I would change from like the first season of Global All-Stars, etc. Before we go any further, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy this video. I always appreciate it. So let us get into it. I'm going to be going in alphabetical order by the queen's names. So first up, a person from our video on Canada's Drag Race. Honestly, one of the most iconic people from me from Canada's Drag Race, period. I love her so much, and I would love to see her get a second shot at the crown. And that is Aurora Matrix. I adore Aurora Matrix so much. She is such an icon. Truly killed season 4 of Canada's Drag Race so hard. I loved watching her every second. So amazing. And I really just love her drag and the way that she presents herself, and she's such a good lip syncer. I mean, she's just amazing. Our second contestant is potentially the most asked name for an all-star season outside of any US queens, period, because she is such an icon that people think should have won her season, which I mean, I was totally fine with the winner of her season, but I mean, she definitely could have won her season. She, I think more than anybody on this list, came the closest to winning Drag Race. So I would love to see her again, and that would be Bimini Bon Boulash. Bimini, I mean, literally everybody loves Bimini. Bimini is just everything. Bimini is so sickening, such good fashion, such a good model, such good performance abilities, truly can excel top to bottom and literally anything that Drag Race asks of you. And I would love to see Bimini back on the stage. Would Bimini do it? I don't know. But I mean, I want to see it, and this is my list, so I'm going to do what I want. Next up, we have from Drag Race Holland. I wanted to choose somebody from Drag Race Holland because we didn't have any rep on the first Global All-Star season, and that's also something I wanted to do for this cast list, is that the 3 seasons that did not get rep on season 1 of Global All-Stars were Drag Race Holland, Drag Race España, and Drag Race Thailand. And so I wanted to make sure that those 3 franchises were represented on this cast list. And so when looking at the potential picks, this person was a person I was definitely the most interested in seeing, and that is Chelsea Boy. Chelsea Boy has an insane track record. Literally, Chelsea's track record is high, 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 high a limb. Literally an insane fucking track record, and is somebody who I would really like to see in this competition setting again and see how they do. Because I do think that, you know, if you, I haven't done a video on Holland season 1, and I've only seen it once, so this, you know, this might be inaccurate to how I would actually do a rejudging video of it. But if you judge Holland season 1 just a little bit differently, Chelsea Boy could very easily be in that finale and potentially win. Like, truly. Such an amazing drag performer, and has continued to do great things in Holland. Has been a guest, like a guest judge, on like every season of of the show Make Up Your Mind there, like a truly like famous working queen. And so I would love to see Chelsea back in this environment and see how they do. Next up from Drag Race España is somebody who I think if you've seen my video on this season, I do think was robbed. Not of winning the crown, but robbed of placements a lot of the time. And as somebody who I would really love to see back on a Drag Race stage to get some redemption, and that is Clover Bish. I loved Clover so much. Clover Bish is one of these people, like in the vein of like Tessa Testicle, who I feel like if you put on Global All Stars in front of RuPaul, RuPaul would gush over. RuPaul would be like, "Oh my god, Clover! Oh my god!" Like truly, I really do see it. I think Clover Bush is one of those people that, if exposed to a wider audience through a show like Global All Stars, would skyrocket and would have like a super great time, and her career would just soar. Like I really think that could happen for Clover, and I wanted it to happen for Clover. And I would be really interested in seeing how she does on a second run of Drag Race. Next up from Drag Race Down Under, we have an interesting pick. I had a few picks that I was kind of considering for Down Under. There wasn't like for Canada and for the UK and for España, there were like I thought of those picks pretty immediately. But Down Under was one of those I took a second and I was like, who do I actually think should be from Down Under here? And I ended up settling on somebody who I think gives wins an all-star season energy, if that makes sense. Because there are some people who give that energy, like Raj O'Hara. Like on All Star 6, even though she didn't win, it was like Raj O'Hara's gonna win an All Star someday, and she did. And I feel like this person gives that energy in spades. And that is Floor. Floor is somebody who always looks great, can do anything. Didn't have like had a pretty decent showing on her season, but it wasn't like the most like 100% great showing. Made to the finale though, and I mean literally this cast. I think literally all but three of these people made it to the finale on their season. Yeah, that's true. Literally all but three: Chelsea Boy, Cloverbish, and the next person we're going to talk about after Floor. Uh, 9 out of the 12 made it to the finale, which means that if this cast existed, Girl, it'd be stacked. Um, but regardless, Flora is somebody who I think adds a different perspective. Somebody who is pretty fashion based, and is somebody who I had a lot of fun watching on Drag Race Down Under season 3. And I would like to see her again. Next up from Drag Race Thailand, we have somebody who I think, honestly, call me crazy, I think should just be cast on a US season of Drag Race. Because she exists in a very niche spot in the Drag Race, uh, you know, pantheon that I would love to see her on our television screens again. I think it'd be really interesting to kind of hear her story. And that is Jeannie. Jeannie, uh, when she was on Drag Race Thailand, was living in the US and still does live in the US. And it's one of only a couple Indian queens to ever be on Drag Race. And so she exists in this very, very interesting niche where she was on Drag Race Thailand, does not reside in Asia, and did really well on her season up until she got eliminated. She got 8th place, but she won 3 challenges, which, and I mean, Drag Race Thailand has the format where there's a runway win and a like a maxi challenge win every episode. But I mean, I think she got eliminated like like the 7th episode or something, or 6th episode or whatever. So I mean, she won 3 challenges before that. That's so solid and good. Like she really did a great job on the time that she was on her season, but nobody really talks about Jeannie anymore. And I'm like, why? We should talk about Jeannie. Jeannie is somebody who I'd be fascinated to hear her perspective on drag and just drag race as a whole from, and is somebody who I really think, if given another chance, could do really well. Next up from Drag Race Mexico, we have, I mean, if you watched my Drag Race Mexico Season 2 video, somebody who I completely adore and who I just really want to see back on my TV again. And that is Horacio Patacio. I fucking love Horacio so much. So beautiful, so entertaining. A wonderful entertainer. Great at comedy, great at runways, great at everything. Really did super well on our season. And is somebody who I think, has like a fun perspective on drag, is super young, which I think would be really interesting for this. This cast does lean, I think, a touch younger, because I mean, we have somebody coming up in just a moment who is also like just going off people between the ages below the age of like 25, I think there's like 3 of them on this cast. We have Horacio, I think Aurora's like 25, and we have our next person who is like literally younger than me. And so is Horacio, which is sad. And it's not sad. Aging is normal. It just makes me feel old, and I don't know how I feel about that. But anyways, um, Horacio, somebody who I think does add a fun perspective, and is somebody who I know is going to entertain super duper well on this season, who I'd really like to see. Next up from Drag Race Philippines, we have um, I would say debatably the breakout star of the most recent season, and that is Kiana. There's a lot of people who could be granted that title. It could be Maxi, it could be Angel. It could be multiple people, but Kiana was the one for me. Am I rejudging of the season Kiana won the season? Because I really do love Kiana and believe in Kiana, and I love the way that she goes about her drag and everything. Super entertaining to me. And is somebody who I really think could serve it, and I'd be so interested in seeing in this environment. Next up, we have from Drag Race Belgium somebody who kind of, along with Jeannie, I would say is kind of my dark horse pick. Somebody who I made it to the finale, but didn't have like the best showing in the competition. But is somebody who I would be really interested in seeing again because I love her aesthetic and I love the way that she paints, and she's really interesting to me. And that is Lulu Velvet. Lulu is somebody who, like, on her season, she won a challenge and it was in the bottom three times, and like the rest of the placements were safe. So like she didn't have the best track record going into the finale, but she was so intriguing to me. I really enjoyed watching her on that season, and as somebody who I think, like, if given another chance, is somebody who I think could excel greater. She's kind of filling the role of the Tessa testicle here for me, as somebody who didn't do particularly well their first time on Drag Race. But I do think I think with another shot and maybe some more funds would be somebody who I think could actually really kill it. Next up, from Drag Race Germany, we have somebody who I'm very interested wasn't actually on Global All Stars, the first one, because as far as I know, she speaks English, and she killed Drag Race Germany, and so I'm interested in the fact that she wasn't on the first season of Global All Stars, but you know, that just made her a real easy choice for this video, and that's Meta Morkid. Meta was somebody who excelled so hard in Drag Race Germany. Somebody who, was, could have won that season. And somebody who really can excel at a lot of different things. That's something I really wanted to do with this cast. Is I really wanted to choose people who were really well-rounded in their drag and who I thought, served great looks, could perform super well, had comedy chops, had all of it. And Metamora Kid, I mean, truly was just an easy pick for me from Drag Race Germany as somebody who I really was entertained by on my screen and I would love to see again on television in literally any form or fashion. And yeah, I'd just be really interested in seeing her again. Next up, we have a very self-explanatory pick from Drag Race US. We have Peppermint. I've said that pretty much every fucking video I've done in relation to this. I want Peppermint back on my screen so bad. If I want any US queen to come back for Drag Race for a second time, it is Peppermint. And that's like literally not even a question. That's just all I want. I feel like she'd be so entertaining. Even if she goes home early, I don't give a shit. I just want to see her back on my screen because I feel like she deserves it. She did so well on season 9 and really kind of exceeded expectations of people, that people had put on her from early in the season when she hadn't been doing as well. And she gets to the end of the season, the two best lip sync performances of the season before the finale, like period. And a phenomenal performance in the Rose Challenge and in other challenges. Like truly so amazing. And is the only queen from All Stars 9, sorry, from season 9 that made it to the finale to not come back, and I just want her to come back so bad. Last but not least, and by not least, literally is tied for the most wins in this grouping, so absolutely not the least. From Drag Race France, we have somebody who I think is also in that camp of like, is somebody who I could very easily see winning an All-Star season because she did so well on her first season. Truly just was kind of in one of the situations where it's like it was kind of an Anitra Sasha situation where like Anitra did super well, but Sasha was there. Sarah Forever did so well, but Kiona was there. It's a little disappointing that Sarah Forever in that situation just, was not going to have a chance, which is it's okay because she could be on this season. But Sarah Forever did so good on Drag Race. So entertaining. Really enjoyed her. And I think really rounds out this cast super well because I feel like Sarah Forever doesn't like lean comedy, but I was kind of concerned with this cast that there would be not enough people who really gave comedy well, but I do think she can. And I think we have people like her, Peppermint, Bimini, uh, like Meta, people who I think who don't necessarily lead with comedy, but like I know are really good at it. So that was kind of something I was like interested in, making sure there's a balance of. And so Sarah Forever really fit that for me. Okay, so the way that I'm envisioning this season working out is in Global All Star Season 1, we had a split premiere where, nobody went home at the end, which, perfectly good. And then the rest of the season was just a standard, there's a winner of the episode, and then somebody gets eliminated at the end through a lip sync. For this version, I would like to do the lip sync for the win format because I think it'd be more interesting, and the fact that they literally have to collaborate and, like, create alliances potentially, and they have to choose the lipsticks on who they want to go home if they're in the top two. I think it'd be interesting to see that for this bunch of queens. So in my imagination, episode 1 would be a girl groups challenge because I hate when they do girl groups where only like one or two people have been eliminated. It's so annoying to me. Like literally in Global All Stars 1, they did the girl groups with 11 out of the 12 contestants. That's vile to me. Poor Athena not getting the chance to fucking do that's just I hate that so much. We're doing it episode 1 so that everybody has a chance to do it. That is my philosophy. If you don't do it like the first episode, you have to wait and do it when there's like 8 left or something or 6 left, like I don't get it. So episode 1 is girl groups. I would imagine they'd be split into like 3 teams of 4. That's how I would do it. Episode 2 will be a ball because I want to give them a chance to present some more looks. Episode 3 will be a snatch game. I think with 10 people it's a little bit many, but I think for the terms of the way that the challenges I want to happen on this season, and where some challenges most likely should be placed. I think episode 3 is probably correct. Episode 4 would be a design challenge. I like when they do a good amount of design challenges. So I think having one happen with 9 people would be good. Episode 5 is going to be a lip sync smackdown with 8 contestants left, so that we can have like a formal bracket with that. Episode 6 would be Rusical with 7. It's not too little. I think it's a decent number. Episode 7 would be a roast. I think 6 people for a roast is a pretty good number. And then a makeover at 5. And then the finale. And then we'd also have a reunion. I forgot to put that in there, but we'd also have a reunion before the finale. So it'd be a 10 episode season. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please leave your thoughts, feelings, and opinions down below. As always, I will leave my Twitter handle. As always, I will leave a link to follow me on Twitter down below if you want to go do that. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Bye-bye.